Well, welcome back to London ahead of a huge night on Saturday night. From the O2 Arena, the Lion's Den, the scene of so many great Anthony Joshua nights, we return there for perhaps one of the most important fights of his career. Anthony Joshua takes on Jermaine Franklin, live and exclusive on DAZN around the world. We cannot wait for the return. It's been nearly 10 years since Anthony Joshua turned professional, 7 years since he performed at the O2 Arena, just a couple of hundred tickets away from a complete sellout, as we look forward to a great night of boxing, great undercard, and a big heavyweight night for Anthony Joshua back at the O2. Of course, this time around on DAZN, we're delighted to welcome Joe Markowski and the team, our global broadcast partner, as the growth continues in the US and in the UK, just an unrivaled schedule and value for money for the customer. We know, as always, available on the iPhone, on the tablet, through the smart TV, but now, of course, via Sky, channel 429, via Virgin, and also in the pubs. What you've been asking for so long as this platform continues to grow globally on a major night for DAZN this Saturday with the first fight of Anthony Joshua's new contract. And before we talk about the fight, we're going to go down to Joe Markowski to talk about what is a huge night for DAZN on Saturday.
Yes, well, thank you, Eddie, and thank you for you all for being here today. A huge night for us, as you say, as part of a huge schedule this spring in the UK and around the world. Several homecomings. Canelo's homecoming on May the 6th. Katie Taylor's homecoming in Ireland on May the 20th. And of course, AJ's homecoming of sorts also in London at the O2 this weekend. Having worked with AJ for several years now around the world, we are delighted and very proud to be the exclusive broadcaster in the UK for AJ's career and for this fight this Saturday night. You've talked about our increased distribution. We're extremely excited about making this content available via DAZN to anyone on any screen. And we're extremely excited about what Saturday night brings, what it means for AJ's career, what it means for our business, what it means for our partnership with Matchroom. So we're tremendously excited and we're looking forward to Saturday night.
Yeah, you talk about that schedule upcoming, a huge couple of months, of course, starts with AJ. You talk about homecomings. Jesse Rodriguez next week trying to become a two-division world champion. A couple of weeks after that, Joe Caldina trying to become a two-time champion in Wales. Throw in the Misfits, throw in the Golden Boy shows, throw in additional boxing to be announced soon on DAZN. Unrivaled schedule moving forward, and the plan to keep locking in those big nights as we progress in the months of 2023.
Absolutely. We're going to keep investing in the best quality boxing schedule we can deliver. But this week's all about AJ. It's all about delivering value to our customers. The fight's available within your DAZN subscription in the UK, available via all those channels that you mentioned. So we're tremendously excited, very proud, looking forward to a big night on Saturday night.
Thank you, Joe. We go to the fight of what is and has become one of the most important in the heavyweight division right now. As we said, Anthony Joshua last at the O2 7 years ago. The first fight for 7 years that doesn't involve a world title. On one hand, people talk about a dominant performance leading to Tyson Fury or a shot to become a 3-time world champion. On the other hand, a bad performance can lead to the end of the road. High level pressure on Saturday night at the O2. And this man to my left looking to derail that momentum. And welcome to the team. Firstly, Dmitry Salita, welcome. You're a big boxing fan, obviously, and you're always excited, especially when your guy has the opportunity of the underdog in this fight. You saw him put a great performance against Dillian Whyte. You weren't very happy with me that night. You felt that he won, and you actually said to me in the ring that night, he won that fight. Please give him the opportunity to fight Anthony Joshua, and we're just a couple of days away from that now.
Well, we're very grateful for the opportunity and always love being in England for big fights. Very grateful and very honored. As Muhammad Ali used to say, the will has to be bigger than the skill. And in this fight, Jermaine's will is going to be bigger than Anthony Joshua's skill. Anthony Joshua is a great fighter, someone that I look up to and admired for many, many years and still admire. He's a great fighter. The show is appropriately called New Dawn and New Day because a new day is coming with Jermaine Franklin. I've seen him train in Florida several weeks ago. He looks in incredible shape. His trainer for many, many years, Jesse, is going to be in his corner, had a great camp, and we're looking forward to a big upset.
What wins this fight for Jermaine Franklin? I mean, we talk backstage. You have a genuine look of excitement and belief in your eyes. You talk a great game up here, but you believe he wins this fight, and you believe he does it how?
I believe that as fighters, we have 4 things that drive us. So Anthony Joshua is a world champion, made tremendous paydays, is a celebrity, great fighter. He's accomplished everything. In the ring, when you're faced with a feeling of being uncomfortable, you think about all these forces that drive you. And Anthony Joshua has accomplished all these things. Jermaine Franklin is a hungry fighter who has the skills and the potential to accomplish this. And every day of this training camp, every day of his life, he's been dreaming about this moment. I believe that Anthony, at this stage of his career, has to have his trainer motivate him, has to have a sports psychologist or whatever it is, different outward sources motivate him to be successful. Jermaine, on the other hand, is internally motivated from the time he gets up to the time he goes to sleep. His dreams are of winning this fight. And I believe when Jermaine is going to make Joshua uncomfortable, those are our keys to victory.
Well, let's talk to the trainers. Jesse Addison, welcome. You were on great form for the last fight with Dillian Whyte, and you come to this fight full of confidence as well, and I guess full of Jermaine believing now that he is a true elite heavyweight after that last performance. He looks in tremendous shape. He says he didn't really leave the gym after the Dillian Whyte fight. You come with the same confidence as you did for that fight week press conference as well?
Of course, I come with even more confidence. We went to training camp in Florida. We had a very nice training camp. I got a chance to do things the way that I wanted to do, the way that I know was best fit for Jermaine. And we put a lot of assignments out in front of him, and he passed every assignment. So now we're just looking to pass a big test Saturday.
Obviously, there's a lot of respect from both teams, but what do you see in this fight that gives you the confidence that Jermaine wins this? What are the keys to victory for him on Saturday?
Hard work. He had worked very, very hard. He had worked extremely hard. Like I say, we went to Florida. We dug down real deep. We trained in the morning. We trained in the evening. We trained at night. We didn't rest. We just trained. And so Jermaine is ready. He's ready for this fight. This is something that I prepared him for. I told him that one day he will be up against Anthony Joshua, Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury. And so now, that plan is coming a reality.
Obviously, a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua as well. You feel that you got him at the right time. He needs to bounce back with victory, new training team as well, but you believe he's there for the taking on Saturday night?
Well, at any given time that a fighter get in the ring, he's there for the taking. I respect everything that Anthony Joshua has accomplished as a fighter. He's a great fighter. I don't feel like that if he loses this fight, his career is over. That's just a new era of boxing. Back when Muhammad Ali and George Foreman and Joe Frazier, them guys were losing fights on the regular, but they would come right back and they'll fight for a world championship. And I think that's where we going back to now, because we got so many gifted heavyweights out there. But yeah, of course, when Jermaine get in there with him this Saturday night, he will suffer a loss.
We expect a great fight. You have two good heavyweights, and in the opposite corner, you have a big, strong heavyweight with fast hands that can really punch as well. It's going to be an explosive fight. You see your man winning inside the distance on Saturday?
I see my man winning. I see my man winning a fight. If we win by knockout, he'll win the fight. If we have to go decision, he'll win the fight. As far as him being a big man, we don't worry about that. Jermaine have been fighting big mans his whole career. Going through the amateurs, we fought guys that was 6'6", 6'7", 6'8". He was the shortest man in the division. And in the amateur tournament, this is a tournament where you don't even get a chance to prepare. You fight one day, you fight the next day, and go on. So we well prepared for this.
In the opposing corner, Derek James. Derek, welcome. Your first fight under Anthony Joshua. I was there just a couple of weeks ago in the gym watching you guys work hard. A good camp, a good experience, a good pupil as well. People talk about dedication, people talk about desire. You see that in droves from Anthony Joshua.
Yeah, I think that, first of all, I'm happy to be here, and I think that I learned a lot about Anthony from his dedication and the fact that he is always a student. He's always wants more and wants more and wants more. And so I think that this Saturday, it'll be a night where we'll show everything that we've been working on.
Obviously, an unbelievable career, 7 years of world championship fights as well. This is the kind of fight that if we're talking about regaining the world heavyweight title, fighting the likes of Wilder and Fury and those kind of guys? Do we look for a statement here, victory by any means necessary, expecting a tough fight against this man as well?
I think that Jermaine Franklin is a very tough fighter. I think that for me, I really don't care about how we get it. I just care that we get it. You know what I mean? I think that, or if it's get to a point to where I could see it, let's go get it. I'm like, let's go get it. Let's go get it right now. But I think that initially he's just going in there. It's all about winning the fight, regardless of how he wins. I don't care about that. I just care that he comes out victorious. And if I see the knockout, let's go get him. If you're ready to take him, let's take him. I'm tell him.
And finally, as well, for you as a trainer of the year last year, of course,
Right.
great relationships with some pound-for-pound great fighters, but
Right.
a big night for you in your career as well. It's going to be a packed-out, sold-out show on Saturday night. The eyes of the world watching this man as well. You're excited as well with all your experience in the sport, and you two seem to have a great relationship. It means a lot on Saturday.
Yeah, like I said, I'm happy to be here. This is my first fight as a heavyweight trainer. You know what I mean? So, and you're coming over to the UK, and everybody's been very receptive, very nice. So it's good. I mean, we come out to, it's all about the focus. It's all about how he's focused and how much he's dedicated, how much he sacrificed to be here. He sacrifices a lot to leave the comfort of the UK to come to Dallas. Even in the wintertime, it was hot. So it's like, you sacrifice. And that's what it's all about. Everybody's working hard. Everybody's pushing. But it's always about what you're willing to give up to be successful. Because everybody's working hard. But everybody's not willing to give up something. And he was willing to give up something. And you're going to see how that pays off on Saturday.
Thank you, Derek. Jermaine, welcome back. I see a different Jermaine Franklin this time around, for the Dillian Whyte fight. I don't know whether you really believed in yourself. You'd never boxed at that level. You put a great performance in. You felt that you won the fight. It was a good competitive fight. This time, you look lighter, you look leaner, you look full of confidence as well. And as far as opportunities go in the heavyweight game, probably the biggest is presented to you on Saturday night.
First off, I want to say it's an honor to be back, and I appreciate the opportunity. But in the beginning, I've just been on a little health journey, so change my eating habits, change stuff I was consuming. Body weight just started falling off, But we have more time to prepare for this fight, so I'm more ready. I'm more in shape. I'm just ready to let the fireworks go.
You speak with a lot of confidence to the media in the build-up to this fight, as you did in the Dillian Whyte fight as well. Different kind of challenge in Anthony Joshua, different kind of style as well, faster heavyweight, but still, you fought a big, strong heavyweight in Dillian Whyte as well. You've been watching this man, I'm sure, like many have over the years, always believed that you could beat him.
I mean, I'm just a huge fan of the sport. I watch a lot of boxing, so I watched AJ fights way before we even had this opportunity or thought it was possible. I'm just a huge fan of the sport, but yeah, my confidence is always great. I think you in the wrong business if you don't truly believe in yourself. It's not the right game for you. So you always have to have the extreme utmost confidence in yourself, and you just have to put the faith and the works behind it.
I've seen many interviews where you say you're going to knock him the fuck out. Is that the plan on Saturday?
That's what I'm trying to do. I mean, I'm going to get the win by any means possible, but if I can put him on his ass, that's what I'm going to try to do.
And you believe that's possible? You look at where he's at in his career right now, the fights that he's been in.
I mean, anything is possible. I come from a place with not a lot of possibilities, so I made it this far. Anything is possible.
And finally, when you fight Anthony Joshua, we know the eyes of the world are watching as well. Is that part of the motivation going into this fight? You know that the World Heavyweight Championship comes through victory on this fight.
My passion for the sport. My team and my family. That's all the motivation I need.
And finally, Saturday night, you believe you are victorious. Great fight last time, but in front of 17,000 people at the O2, live on DAZN around the world, Jermaine Franklin beats Anthony Joshua on Saturday.
That's how I believe it happened Saturday. I believe my hands get raised at the end of the fight.
AJ, back in the UK, feels good. I know you always say you don't care where you fight, but going back to that changing room where you made your professional debut, going back to that changing room where you won the Commonwealth title, the British title night against Dillian Whyte, the world title against Charles Martin, the defence against Brazil. It's been an unbelievable journey, 10 years this year since this all began. And some say Saturday night, although you will say, and many fighters will say, just another fight, a lot of people saying one of the most important of your career.
Yeah, it's big. It's massive. It's a big fight for me, for sure. respect my opponent fully. I respect everything that he says he's been through, and we're here to rock and roll. And I respect my supporters as well, so I put in the work. And I respect my coach as well, so I want to make sure I go out there and I get the job done in good fashion. I like the fact that you always dangle carrots in front of me, telling me if you do this, then this is here and that's there, always leading on to big things. And I dream big, and I want bigger and better things in my life. As I stated in the last press conference, you know, I want to secure the bag and move on in my life.
This time around, Derek James, one voice, and I know that, you know, that's been refreshing for you as well. How much have you enjoyed that experience? You seem to have a close relationship already, a lot of respect and trust on Saturday night, and looking forward to going through the process of warming up, listening to coach in the corner and executing the game plan.
Yeah, the goal's not to make it back to the corner. The goal's to take him out. And I respect Derek fully, and I trust everything he's been saying. Like, when you're a student of the game, there's certain times where you can be on the same level as people that you speak to about boxing. But when I speak to Derek, and I obviously ask him certain questions, the knowledge he spits is phenomenal. Like, the knowledge that he gives me is really, really, really good. And we're at a stage now, like, when you're at this side of the fight, the physical work's done. All fighters know, like, fight week, you're still training because it's just part of our nature, but the physical work's done. It's all about the knowledge. That's where you got to train your mind. And honestly, Derek is up there as one of the best people I spoke to about boxing. So I appreciate his time. I appreciate the fact that he took me on, because I'm sure he's a well sought after coach. And yeah, man, I'm just looking forward to showing him that he ain't wasted his time by taking on this project.
When I came to Dallas a couple of weeks ago, I was quite surprised by the simplicity, but I know you don't overthink surroundings in camp, but it was very different to what you've been working with over the last couple of years. I know you never wanted that kind of attention, but it was refreshing to see just the hard work and the basics of boxing that you reverted to there. Yeah. When you strip boxing back, it is very basic. A lot of it's down to self-belief, number one. That's how you start off. And then, as I said, knowledge. You just gain knowledge and you just apply it in the ring. You fight with desire, and then you can add some skills along the way. I was based in the Olympic gym in Sheffield for years. Obviously, that's a big setup because you've got hundreds of fighters, international fighters coming in. But in the world-class boxing gym in Texas, there's a few of us pros just putting in the groundwork. And as you said, that's probably what you saw was different, is I'm not around like hundreds of other fighters in the gym. It's just like 3 or 4 of us just putting in work. But like, when you disconnect from everything, which is hard to do in this day and age, we're so connected, I took myself away to disconnect, and all the answers, all the questions I've been asking myself, the answers came in that like quiet time, do you know what I mean? And it's been a good camp, and it's good to be back in the UK, but everyone knows the UK is a little bit dead now. You know what I mean? So I just can't wait to get back out to Texas and get back to putting in work. This guy says he's going to knock you out. You've heard it a million times as well, but you're always a scout, and there will be people that say this is a great time to be fighting Anthony Joshua, but maybe
it's the worst time.
Exactly. Do you feel that way?
Yeah, the more he talks, the bigger grave he digs for himself. But it is what it is, isn't it? I could say a lot of things about him, but I respect my opponent. It's not for me to talk, it's for you to do all the talking. It's for me to like do my job on Saturday. And that's just really, honestly, what I'm focused on. As I said, like from round 1 to round 12, I'm prepared for a 12-rounder, but I do believe in my ability, my counter-punching and all that type of stuff to definitely put a dent in Jermaine. But as I said, I'm not here to talk. I'll just do what I have to do because I really want to win.
And that desire, we know it's still there. You're looking forward to, we know you say you're not an entertainer, but you have entertained the public for so many years. They will be out watching in huge numbers on Saturday night to see where you're at, I guess. And personally, for all the hard work you put in, you want to put a statement together on Saturday night for the work that you put in.
Yeah, and that's personal. And as I said, that's to show my coach, like, I respect everything that the time that he's put in with me. So in terms of entertaining, I don't really like, as we see, like, we don't play boxing, but at the same time, like, people from years back, like the empires, they've just loved people coming together and fighting. So they'll be entertained regardless. I think we'll see blood, and I just really look forward to getting in there. I'm so happy I'm fighting again because, as I said, looking at the champions, it's just a shambles. Like, when you're trying to compete mandatories or negotiations, honestly, like, I just can't believe that no fights have been made at the championship level. But I'm just so happy that I can get back to work and get on with my job. And I'm looking forward to this assignment, and I can't wait, honestly. I'm really looking forward to it.
The final word from both camps, Jermaine. I know victory by any means necessary is a standard line, but quite boring to some people. How do you win this fight on Saturday night?
I win by any means necessary. You know, like I said, if we could get the knockout, that's what we're going for. If not, then we win by points, but we dominate.
And AJ, you going with a standard line, or are you going to take this guy out on Saturday night?
What's going to happen? I'm going to come out, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do as you said, by any means necessary. We're just here to do a job. And as I said, like, I respect my opponent, may the best man win. And one thing he said is like, he started eating right for this camp and all that stuff. I think he's dealing with someone that's been living right from the get-go. Like, I've been putting in work from the day I started this business. So, yeah, it's going to be a good fight because he's up against the real one, for sure.
Well, one of the most important of Anthony Joshua's career on Saturday night, April the 1st, live on DAZN around the world from the O2 in London. Anthony Joshua against Jermaine Franklin. Wherever you are, do not miss it. We're going to have a face-to-face up here and then additional media on the red carpet. Thank you.